The Sisters of St. Joseph of Springfield have been at the forefront of social justice issues since their arrival in the Springfield Diocese in the late 19th century. Their outreach to the neighbor in need is a hallmark of their legacy. In recent years, they have focused attention on the crisis of human trafficking. As Rebecca Drake now reports, the recent improved economic environment in Springfield comes with increased concerns.
It was an impressive gathering, but the capacity crowd that filled Montmarie Chapel on a recent afternoon was not there to pray.
What a stunning group. People from every walk of life throughout this area, from faith communities to law enforcement to government to diverse agencies and organizations coming together for a common goal to address human trafficking.
Sister Denise Granger, coordinator of the Sisters' Justice and Peace Committee, said her congregation has been focusing on the issue of human trafficking for the last 5 years.
This is our largest event so far, and our goal today is to continue to raise awareness about this very bad problem and to allow all the people here to network with each other.
The presenters at the forum included a nursing professor, the commander of the state's high-risk victim unit, a doctor, and a community activist. The first presenter defined human trafficking as a form of slavery where people are exploited for commercial purposes.
There's some exchange of something, with the victim getting nothing in exchange usually. Or compared to what the trafficker or pimp gets, it's a lot less.
The most compelling testimony was that of Nicole Bell, who was sex trafficked as a teen, spent 10 years in street prostitution, and after serving jail time, has become an activist in the neighboring city of Worcester, Massachusetts.
I spent many years homeless, many years in and out of incarceration, and as I said, I was arrested upwards of 30 times, and never once in any of those interactions with law enforcement did anybody say to me, "Do you want to stop? Would you like help? Do you want to exit?"
But when she formed a support group for survivors like herself, Bell's perspective and that of law enforcement began to change.
For the first time in my life, I was looked at like a human being, and like I had something of value to add to this world other than my body.
Springfield Police Commissioner John Barbieri says local officers receive training in how to recognize trafficking victims and to treat them with respect.
There's topics in regards to viewing the participants as victims and understanding that the vast majority of them do not want to live this life, and that, as mentioned here, they're not going to disclose, they're going to be discovered, and how hard it is to assist them, but how necessary it is.
Even professionals who deal with victims of trafficking on a regular basis gained a new understanding from the forum's presenters.
I've gained an immense amount of knowledge around what trafficking means, what it means to our community. I think that I've gained an opportunity to be able to see it from a different perspective and to see it through the eyes of somebody who's actually in it.
For Barbieri, a practicing Catholic, his faith provides yet another perspective on human trafficking.
Well, I think as a Catholic or as a Christian, right, Jesus calls to us to help the lowest, those who are in the most frightful conditions, to look at other people's plight and assist them. And I can't think of somebody who's in more need than somebody who's not only impoverished, potentially opioid or alcohol addicted, and on top of that, suffering from, being human trafficked.
While sex trafficking is the best known form of human trafficking, the largest percentage of trafficking locally is in forced labor. Both were expected to increase with the opening of the new casino in Springfield.
There's a lot of opportunity in Western Mass for labor trafficking, especially with massage parlors, nail clinics, agriculture. But we are at a location that's almost perfect because we have the confluence of Route 91 and the Mass Turnpike. The impetus for us to really step it up was with the casino coming to Springfield, and then the new Union Station because a lot of human trafficking goes on at bus stations.
And at the recent forum, the Sisters of St. Joseph presented ways in which local residents can fight human trafficking in our midst.
You can read about it and become more aware. What the ordinary person can do basically is buy fair trade products, because fair trade products have their supply chain clean all the way down, so that you know that no slave labor was used in the production of whatever it is that you're buying.
Working together, all of us can help the sisters as they continue to unite neighbor with neighbor and neighbor with God. For Real to Real, I'm Rebecca Drake.
And Commissioner Barbieri encourages residents to contact local law enforcement if they suspect human trafficking activity. More about human trafficking and the contact for the National Human Trafficking Hotline can be found at iobserve.org.